Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Are you ready for the biggest false flag event in U.S. history? No, I'm not talking about the one that happened a week or so ago at the Capitol. That was the test false flag event to get everything ready. In case you haven't been following this stuff that's being talked about online, apparently all these crazy right-wing, nut jobs are planning on going to the Capitol and all these state capitals, except on the inauguration day. Except no one has really heard about that. I have not seen anything in any of the internet circles that I travel around on, and everyone, in fact, that I have seen on message boards and different social media, they've all said the same thing. They've not seen anyone talking about going to the Capitol or state capitals on Inauguration Day. None whatsoever. In fact, the only people that are talking about it is the mainstream media, saying that the FBI has intelligence saying that it's being talked about online. Except no one can find where it's being talked about. There's now 20,000 National Guard troops deployed in Washington, D.C. 20,000. That's a lot. They've been authorized to carry weapons. They have been told, and it's been released to the media, that they have reason to believe that there could be IEDs at the inauguration. They have basically built around the Capitol building and in certain parts of Washington, D.C. to where it looks like a fortress. And all of this talk about all these horrible insurgents, and now I heard today they're white supremacist insurgents that are hell-bent on siege and takeover. I could be wrong. Sometimes I am. But I'm pretty sure this is a setup. So number one, if you're thinking about going to anything on the inauguration day, I would suggest not doing that. It's probably a good idea. No need to allow yourself to fall victim to a trap. Secondly, has anyone stopped to think about the repercussions of a Biden administration and Democrat-controlled branches with the fuel that they need for the fire of this hostile, violent, deadly insurgent? See, on the inauguration day, I would predict, if I was a predicting man, the legislation that would happen thereafter and the actions of the government thereafter would make what happened after 9/11 look like a Girl Scout party. They've already let everyone know that they want to take your rights away, your First Amendment, your Second Amendment. Well, heck, let's just take them all away, right? And they got what they needed out of January 6th to really start clamping down on freedom of speech, at least online and in other areas. A lot of censorship going on with people. If it happens how they're planning it to happen, which is exactly what I say is, they're planning it, and it's a setup on Inauguration Day, the 20th, it's going to be all the fuel they need to ramrod the most absolute, insanely ridiculous laws, procedures, policies, everything you can think of, through Congress and through government agencies that govern law and firearm ownership and everything else. You can kiss it goodbye. I don't know that there's much we can do about it, at least at this point. Um, I'm not saying that Americans shouldn't or can't resist. I'm saying that we've been painted in a corner because we've allowed it. Americans have set back for decades now, allowing this tolerance and acceptance and unity malarkey take hold in this country to the point that the conservative right just kind of sets back and says, well, we got to let them have a voice. I know they may be a Marxist, communist, progressive, radical, but, we got to let them have a voice. We got to, they should get to have what they want to, instead of anyone putting their foot down and stopping it. Well, now it's happened. Is it too late? I don't know. I just don't think January 20th is certainly the time to take a stand. Um, there's been 4 years of time to take a stand, and no one, including the man in charge during those years, really took a strong stand to end it or to put as many roadblocks as they could in place. So be prepared for that. Um, who knows? January 21st, I might just go fishing in a big, deep lake. I sure hope I don't lose anything overboard. Um, but seriously, folks, I'd say that's what they're working. I know there's other theories of what's going to happen that day, or what could happen, or whatever plan is in place. And I'm not saying it's all craziness. Some of it is. Um, but it certainly looks like the American people are being set up for a massive false flag, one that's and there's it kind of fits with all this ridiculous amount of anger over what happened on January 6th. I mean, it's absurd. I mean, there's definitely some people in Washington D.C. that should be earning Emmys for their behavior over the past week and how they've acted, because it's the biggest, fakest bunch of lies I've ever seen, and just overly dramatic. Oh, about half of us could have died that day. It's all been a build-up, and I'm quite sure it's on purpose, and it's building up to create this setup so that then they can cry, well, that's what's so wrong. Conservatism is the same as the big T word, like those people in the Middle East that we've been fighting. It's the same thing. In fact, saw it this morning that Donald Trump was called the American Osama bin Laden. So just wait, folks. All those conservatives that's been rooting for, fighting all these foreign terrorists are going to be pretty shocked when they get labeled the same. I don't have a plan for you to follow necessarily. Get ready for it. Um, get the heck out of Dodge. Come out of her, my people. Get your house in order. How many other little sayings can I come up with to get my point across? I'm not saying that living out here like where I do is gonna, protect me necessarily from this crazy globalist, onslaught, but it probably will protect me a little bit longer. Well, certainly longer. And I think at least some of the elected officials locally around here will probably fight it also. There's a lot of talk about if the things happen the way that a lot of people think they will happen in the Biden administration, we might be seeing some states starting to talk seriously about secession even. We're divided and fractionated, and I'm not even just talking about the left and the right. It's divided in fractions within each of the left and the right, even though that's a fictitious left-right paradigm thing. The point is, though, I think we're about to see a pretty ridiculous event happen, and possibly a lot of people set up. I've not seen anyone in any kind of patriotic conservative groups or chats or anything like that that's even talking about going to Washington, D.C. So we'll see. And it's 20,000 troops, and they're having a virtual inauguration. They're telling people not to even show up. So if no one's going to be there, then why in the world are they? And that's just the National Guard. That's not all the Capitol Police and Secret Service and state police and police from other agencies surrounding Washington, D.C., which there always is on inauguration for assistance. I mean, what are they expecting? An invasion by the Russians? Um, I don't know. I think that but I do. I think that there's a big false flag being developed here, and I don't think that they even care that people are already seeing it. They're so blatantly open about the things that they're doing. I don't think that they even care. I mean, just this whole impeachment thing, the stuff that's being said. They know it's all lies and it's just ridiculous twisting of the story, but they don't care. They don't care because they control it all now. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I don't have really much more to say about this. Um, Let me know what you think in the comments. Um, Remember back when Joe Biden said it's going to be a dark winter? Probably the most honest thing that ever came out of that man's mouth. Probably, I'm sure he meant differently than what people thought he meant at the time. Get yourselves prepped up, prayed up. Get your house in order, folks. Um, the Great Reset and Progressive Revolution is upon us. Thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video.